Welcome to the Cosmic Busker. My name is Bobby Codey. Signs of life on Mars. Found this news article about methane detection on Mars. Brand new news article, brand new finding. Want to take a look at this article. We're just going to go over it for about a minute or two. And I want to use it as a jumping off point to talk about a few things. That I've discovered in the past. An obvious discovery of life. I mean, it's not even a question anymore. We've discovered life on Mars. They just ain't telling you. The evidence is overwhelming. And it's not just life on Mars, like microbes and stuff like that, which is what they're putting out with this discovery of methane. I'm talking about trees on Mars, insects on Mars, a past civilization, including automobiles destroyed, machines found, statues found. Now, a lot of this has already been covered, and you may have seen some of this stuff, but the stuff that I found was my own finding. When I downloaded Curiosity rover photos, some of this stuff, most of this stuff, I haven't seen anybody else cover. Just myself. I found it all by myself. And I find it fascinating nobody else found this stuff that was so obvious and blatant, so we're going to go over it. But first, we're going to go to the news article, and you'll see why I used the news article as a jumping off point. So we'll go to that news article right now, read through it just for a minute, and then we'll come back and I'll show you some of the amazing photos that I've found, and I'll put up some cards as well for previous videos I've done, which will expand upon this in a much more elaborate way. Let's go to that news article right now. You can see the news article headline. It's from sciencealert.com. Also Live Science, I believe, is another website it's on. I think it's on multiple websites. I'll post a link down below if you're interested in looking at the article. As you can see, headline reads, we may finally have the location of mysterious alien burps detected on Mars. Now wait till you see where they found the burps. So I'm like, yeah, of course. Several years ago I knew this. I could have guessed it, and I'm not surprised. Let's read through. A group of scientists may have just pinpointed the location on Mars of a mysterious source of methane, a gas most often produced by microbes, and NASA's Curiosity rover could be right on top of it. So the NASA Curiosity rover is the second to last one we had. It's not the most recent one. Perseverance was that one. This one was Curiosity rover that went out 3 or 4 years ago, I think it was. I'm not sure off the top of my head the exact year that it went out. But methane is a sign of life. Cows fart methane. Microbes exude methane as part of their biological process. It's a sign of life. It can be a geological. But what they found with the methane on Mars is that it's seasonal. They see, during the warm season, they see a lot of the methane come out, and during the winter season, there's not as much methane. So that suggests that it's life, because geological processes tend not to be seasonal. Biological processes are seasonal based on the warm weather. So let's continue. It says methane blips have pinged on Curiosity's detection system 6 times since the rover landed in Mars's Gale crater in 2012, but scientists weren't able to find a source for them. Now, with a new analysis, researchers may have traced the methane burps to their origin. Just want to state, I've done a video on that as well. And Mars's Gale crater, the reason they went there is it's a crater, but there's this huge thing in the middle of the crater. It's like a couple miles high, and they call it a mountain. Well, what's a crater? A crater is when something came down and smashed into the surface of a planet, right? So it smashes down everything in the crater. Why is there something a mile or two high in the crater? It shouldn't happen. And there's no geological process that'll create something a mile or two high in the middle of a crater. It's a building, and it's a massive one. it looks like it was a huge, massive city with all buildings and structures all combined together into this hive-like structure. That's my take on it and a lot of other people's take on it. So, you know, that would be one of the reasons why they're detecting methane. I'm going to continue. To calculate the unknown methane source, researchers at the California Institute of Technology modeled the methane gas particles by splitting them into discrete packets. Taking into account the wind speed and direction at the time of their detection, the team traced the parcels of methane back through time to their possible points of emission. By doing this for all the different detection spikes, they are able to triangulate regions where the methane source is most likely located, with one being just a few dozen miles away from the rover. The findings point to an active emission region to the west and the southwest of the Curiosity rover on the northwestern crater floor, the researchers wrote in their paper. This may invoke a coincidence that we selected a landing site for Curiosity that is located next to an active methane emission site. It's not a coincidence. As I told you, they knew why they were landing there, because this huge structure existed in the middle of a crater and it shouldn't be there. And I'm going to show you photos when we're done with this article. I'll go back to a big screen view of me, and I'm going to show you photos up here that I've found that I haven't seen anywhere else. The prospect is thrilling for scientists, as almost all of the methane in Earth's atmosphere has biological origins, according to the researchers. So that's a signature on Mars, could be a key signpost for finding life on the ostensibly desolate planet. I think that's it. No, it keeps on going. I'm going to continue a little more. Even if the methane is being produced by non-biological processes, it could point to geological activity closely tied to the presence of liquid water, a vital ingredient for the past or present life to thrive. And as I stated before, no, because they know it's seasonal. Geological processes aren't seasonal. Biological processes or life processes are seasonal. There's more microbes, flowers, and etc. when it warms up. Curiosity detected the methane blips through an instrument called a tunable laser spectrometer, which is capable of detecting trace quantities of the gas at less than 1/2 part per billion, or about the quantity of a pinch of salt detected into an Olympic-sized swimming pool. The methane spikes that led the team to the potential source were registered at roughly 10 ppb, or parts per billion. Previous attempts to cross-check Curiosity's methane spikes with atmospheric methane levels detected by the European Space Agency's Trace Gas Orbiter have failed. This could either mean that there is methane in the Martian atmosphere and the TGO somehow isn't picking it up, or there isn't any atmospheric methane on Mars and Curiosity is parked right on top of a local source. Yeah, because it's Curiosity rover is on top of this massive, huge building. That's what it's on, and that's what it's climbing up. Okay? And I'm going to talk about one of the things I found. I don't have a photo, unfortunately, but I'll talk about that when we move away from this article. But we still don't know whether the methane comes from tiny life forms. Yes, we do. The detectable lifespan of methane is only 330 years. After this, it is completely destroyed by exposure to sunlight. That means whatever produced the methane could still be producing it today. Yeah, of course it is. There wouldn't be methane there otherwise. Scientists' next job will be to find out what that something is. The researchers published their findings June 3rd on the preprint server Research Square, so their study has yet to be peer-reviewed. All right, so now we're going to come away from the article, and I'm going to show you the photos that I found. All right, we're back from the article. So what happened was, back in the day when Curiosity rover first landed on Mars, I was on Facebook, and I would download the photos on a daily basis and analyze them. I found so much, and a lot of this stuff has never been found by other people. Nobody else, I haven't seen anybody talk about these signs of life that I found. So I'm going to talk about one of them, and then I'm going to show you some of the photos. They're absolutely amazing, and I'll also throw up some cards so you can see videos I've done about this in the past. One I want to talk about right away, though, because it was unequivocal to me, no doubt about it. What I found was, and was a hill. I don't have the old photo because this particular photo, so I'm just going to have to describe it to you. I've deleted my Facebook once they started censoring, so I don't have all of the information. I downloaded some of the photos. This particular one I didn't. And what it was it looked like a hill, but on the hill you could see like these round, it's all rounded out. Like hills aren't like round like that. I knew right away what I was looking at. NASA gave us this, it was a black and white photo of this hill, pretty close. It looked like it was maybe a couple 100 yards away. But it was black and white for some reason, and you couldn't see the details. It looked like they smudged the details. It was trees. You could see, if you really knew what you're looking at, it was trees. And so what I did was, I showed everybody this. I said, look, those are trees. That's a hill with trees. And what I did was I colorized it. I made it green. I said, see, once you see the color, you start to understand what you're looking at all of a sudden, even with all the smudging and distortions that they put in it. It was a hill with trees right there. So when they're talking about in this news article that the methane is coming from where the Mars Curiosity rover is, yeah, I know. Found life years ago. There's no doubt about it. If there are trees, there's microbes and there's insects. Little doubt about it. Now, I've done a video already at insects found on Mars. I'll throw up a card to that right now. But now what I want to do is show you some of the photos that I found. Again, I've never seen anybody else show these photos. And to me, they're unequivocal. No doubt about it. I'm going to post one right now. And this is a far away photo of it. All right. If you look right in the middle there, you see it's a rounded object, and then it flattens out. To me, it reminds me of those handheld games we used to have when I was in the 80s. I'm going to throw up a couple images up here so you can get a sense of what we may be looking at here on Mars. Now, you can see it right in the middle. When I saw it, if you look at that object, you'll see an S, some type of S right in the middle of it. That's like tubing or electronics. That's some type of machine. And that would be like the inside of this. It broke apart or, over the years. There's little doubt in my mind. Now, if you also look beyond that machine, you'll also see what looks like a box or some type of rectangular thing buried in the soil. Again, those are two objects right there in the middle of the photo that to me are unequivocal evidence of civilization on Mars. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to throw up a big photo of that right now so you can get it a little closer so you can take a look at it. Okay? And what I'm also going to do is throw up a close-up of that right now as well so you can take a look at the close-up of it. My apologies for the close-up being blurry. It is what it is. That's the best I can get it. But again, you can see the details in the S and everything. It looks to me like some type of machine. I'm not saying it's a handheld game on Mars, but it looks like it's that same type of technology, essentially. So, let's see what else we have I wanted to show you. Let's see, oh yeah, here's another one I found on my own. I haven't seen anybody else do this. I didn't know what it was at the time. I thought it might be I speculated it might be a pedestal or it might be a mushroom. We've since had some scientists speculate that there would be mushrooms on Mars. I'm certain there are mushrooms on Mars. I'm certain there's fungus all over the solar system and all over the universe. These things are able to survive almost anywhere. So I'll throw up a card to Mushrooms on Mars video that I've done as well in the past, so you can get a little bit more of an elaborate understanding of that. Here's another one I found. Let's see, I'll post it up here. It's a statue. It's some type of statue. You can see from the regularity. It's some type of construction. I mean, there's little doubt about it. Look at that. I mean, it's worn out. It's worn down. No question about it. But it's some type of statue or some type of creation. Finally, and this is my favorite one. And this is the one where it's, I'm not as sure about, but it looks like it, and it's hard to say it doesn't look like it. I'm going to throw that up there so you can take a look at it. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a full screen view of it so you can take a look at it. See if you can figure out what that looks like. It's a car. It's a car on Mars. It's buried in the soil at an angle, but if you take a close look at it, you can see the wheel well. The green arrow points to the wheel well, where the wheel would go. A black arrow points to the back end. The red arrow points to the side windows. And the yellow arrow points to the front buried in the soil. But if you look closely, you can also see the front windshield. It's a car on Mars. So I've done several videos on all this. I've done a whole series of documentaries. I think it's 5 total documentaries called Ancient Mars Civilization, The Timeline of Discovery. Each documentary comes in at about 30, 40 minutes, maybe an hour long. I think the whole series of documentaries are probably about 3, 4, 5 hours long. I'm not certain. I'll throw up a card to the playlist. I've got a playlist on my channel, so you can look at those at your leisure. And they're all in one big group on the playlist, so you can take a look at them. But, the evidence is overwhelming. Anybody who tells you differently isn't being forthright with you. I don't know what their motivations are, and I'm not going to speculate, but the evidence is overwhelming. I do speculate in that playlist, though, on the Ancient Mars Civilization and Timeline of Discovery. I do speculate. I tell you exactly why they're doing it, because that has been their plan, and they actually said before we started exploring outer space, they said if we do find signs of life or ancient civilization, and the report said we will find it, we can't tell the public. We have to slowly divulge this to the public so they can slowly get used to the fact that we're not alone, that there have been ancient alien civilizations in the past in the solar system and elsewhere in the galaxy. And the fact is, I've said it before and I'll say it again, life pervades the universe. We will find life everywhere we look once we know how to look. And we have people who are not going to lie to us. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I got the PayPal down below if you want to help me out. It'd be much appreciated. I could use your assistance. Other than that, thanks for watching. I appreciate your time.